Okay, so I'm gonna do another video with talking about Street View, just because I feel like it. It's not as if the one that I did was popular or anything, but I turned up the decibels, however you want to say it, on the mic because the last video that I did when I was talking into the SM58 like I'm doing right now was really low, the volume, even though I had the gain all the way up on the mic and in the program in OBS, but I jacked it up 2 decibels, so hopefully it's not too loud, but I really don't think it's going to be too loud. I don't think that's going to be a problem. I wanted to talk about a couple places that, let me see if this is just, yeah, okay, so I just modified a few things, like I'm recording from a window instead of the whole screen, and I discovered after making that video where I didn't know what I was doing that yes, there is a pause button, so I can use that if I feel like I need to, which I will. But I just want to see if this is working. Okay, yeah, it's working. So I'm just going to talk about a couple places that I knew growing up that are gone now, and not in a good way. And again, I have to use the web version of this because, again, I tried to use the downloadable version and it, you know, again, this is part of the problem of having Linux, but I'm not going to use Windows. I won't endorse their product. I won't, whatever. Endorse is the wrong word. I don't want to use their product. So, so in other words, on Google Earth, that you should be able to do more instead of less, like on the web version. Google Earth Pro, is that what they call it? But so yeah, when you try to go back on Linux, I don't know. See, I think it's a Linux thing. That's what I'm talking about. But I downloaded Google Earth, and you try to go back in time to previous Street Views, they won't let you do it. And I tried to figure it out. I tried to figure out what I was doing wrong. I literally think it's some kind of bug that I can't. There's supposed to be a slider that lets you do it. I can't find the slider. Maybe I'm just a boomer. I don't know, but I don't think that's what it is, because I've used it before on Windows, and I was perfectly able to do that. And when I try to do it on Linux, I can't get anything to work. So I don't know where the fuck I am. So this is, okay, West 48th Street. Okay, so this is so like unrecognizable to me that I'm kind of like disoriented here. Okay, I'm looking for a shitty looking hotel because I remember that's what it was. It's called like Hampton Inn, I think. Oh, okay, I don't know. I guess I wrote, whatever, I placed the little figure down wrong. So right here you have a Hampton Inn. Appropriately a dump truck in front of it, garbage truck. So can anyone guess what used to be here? I don't know if anyone listening to this can guess, but I'm going to go back in time. This is what this is now. It's a Hampton Inn. To be honest, it looks so different from what it used to look like that I'm just like, well, how could it have been? I'm surprised it's the same place, but I'm going to go back in time to the earliest that I can. And part of the reason that I wanted to use Google Earth on the program was because I think you can go back earlier, but they wouldn't let me, so I have to use the web version. Yeah, so I think this is exactly where Hampton is now. So you used to have, again, this is like the corporatization of everything, right? And you could say, well, it's really the internet, and you wouldn't be wrong. But all I know is that it's lamentable to me, you know? It's sad. So you used to have a Sam Ash here, and this was a real thing. Like, in other words, you go to some places in New York, and in fact, I just thought of one that I'm gonna show that I went to with my girlfriend one time. But you go to some places in New York, and you realize it's a tourist thing. Sam Ash, Manny's. This used to be a Manny's, and then Sam Ash bought them out. But I can't go back in time long enough to show when it was. Now we went back into somehow October 2018. They had torn it down by that time. I mean, that's sad. I think it's sad, but anyway. So yeah, this thing right here used to be Manny's, and anyone who knows about music and buying instruments in the city would basically kind of know what you're talking about. So, but the point is, what I was saying was like, this was not a tourist thing. So musicians would go to these places. Poor musicians, rich musicians, famous musicians, they would actually go here, and it would be like, oh wow, it's Jimi Hendrix. If I remember correctly, I'm trying to remember which one it was. So if this is 2011, because there were 3 places total. Right in 2011, it was just Sam Ash because they bought out Manny's, which was that awning. But how do I get that to go away? Wow, that didn't work. Okay. That really didn't work. You know, I know there's a better way. There's a better way to do this. Okay, here we are again. So, and you know, now it's a Hampton Inn. So whoop-de-doo. And whatever the fuck that is, motto. I don't know. Is anyone excited about that? So, I don't know. And you could say like it's capitalism. All I know is that I'm responding to it. I grew up in New York City, and I love New York City. And it's become less bohemian and more corporate and like foreign nationals and stuff like that. And then you could say, well, you're racist and xenophobic. Okay, if that makes you happy. All I know is like that the city has become somewhat of a shell of its former self, and many people feel the same way. So anyway, I'm going to go back in time. Just trying to figure out... can I get rid of this thing on this sidebar? How the fuck do I make that go away? Damn. Okay, I can't do this video and try to figure that out at the same time. I don't have that capacity, apparently. So yeah, this was another place that wasn't as famous, but it was called Rudy's Music Stop, somewhat confusingly. But if I remember correctly, one time in 1998, 97, 98, I went into this place and I wanted to buy a, I don't know, I feel like this video is kind of silly, but anyway. So yeah, I went into this place and I was buying a Big Muff, which is a type of guitar pedal. That's what my girlfriend wanted. I think that's what she wanted. And so I went in here, and so this goes to the point that I was making, which these were real places where real people would go, and famous people even. And they weren't trying to be seen, not really. They were just trying to go to where they knew. This guy's kind of funny. I don't know, something about this person is amusing to me. Um, it kind of looked like he had long hair, and now it looks like he's just a regular schmuck. Um, he probably, I guarantee you, this person has a much more successful and probably happy life than I do. Anyway, so, and that looks like Natasha, whatever the fuck her name is, that Jewish actress with the big boobs. Anyway, so yeah, I went in here, went upstairs, and somebody was playing very loud right in front of here, in front of the window, and he was testing out an amp. And I was saying to like the clerk there, I was like, can I please test this, before I buy it, can I test this? And he was like, oh, because there was no battery in it, that's the point, so I wasn't able to plug it in. But Mark Tremonti from Creed it turned out was I could just tell, I could see it, I could see him, and he was testing out a Soldano head, and he was playing so loud that I just thought, your ears are fucked if you're listening to music that loud. I don't know, like, and I'm not even making fun of him. Like, I don't want anyone to have problems, but on stage he must wear earplugs, and I'm assuming that's maybe he was trying to impress people. But another thing is, like, he started playing the solo to My Own Prison. I don't think it was. I really don't think that he was trying to have people even recognize him. I think he was just playing what he plays, and he was like testing it out. You know what I mean? But so, and then the guy eventually did get me a battery, but either way, I remember seeing him there. And I think he left without buying anything, and then I felt like it was my fault. Like, oh, some poor person was coming upstairs, like, trying to buy a pedal. Meanwhile, he's like the rock star, however you want to say it, and then the clerk has to attend to him and to me because I need him to get a 9-volt battery for this $100 thing that I'm buying. And so I think I'm thinking about that too much, but I kind of had a feeling like, did I do that? Did he leave because of me? But anyway, so, these were real places that are lost, What is this now? I'm going to click on the newest year. What shitty boutique or like some sort of like, trendy eatery is it now? Oh, okay, that's not bad. It's a little pizza place, so whatever. Now I'm wondering, what's that rabbit hole thing? Rabbit Hole Lounge? That must refer to like getting, let me just see. Where the fuck am I? See, this happens with Google Earth, where like you click on something and then you're taken to like a totally different place. Oh, dispensary, okay. Progress, more progress. Rabbit hole. Okay, I'm gonna be in this view and make it go back in time again because I just want to know where it is. Yeah, so Rudy's Music Stop is I think it's the pizzeria place. So that's whatever, It's just a loss. And then in 2011 that was another place to buy music, Alex. I had never gone in there because, to be honest, I don't think I knew about that place. It's called Accordions, but then it says guitar, but I had never visited that place. So in what is that now? for rent. I guess this isn't really like super high value property because you're not seeing any boutiques and stuff. Hard Rock Hotel. Okay. Does anyone care? Okay, so now I'm going to go to the other place. And I've been in all of these, when I was a young man and like I had some hope for the future. I don't want to make it sound that depressing, but whatever. Things were a lot more exciting back then. I've been into Sam Ash and I've been into Manny's. And Manny's was really the coolest place in this little area right here, I think. And that was a place that was known for having famous people go there. Jimi Hendrix, for one example, and things like that. So now I'm going to type in this other place. Let me see. I hope I typed that in correctly. Yeah, I did, because I recognize this. So what is this? It's nothing. It's just space for rent. It doesn't say it, but I don't know. Is it an opium den? Is it a, bootlegger? It doesn't look like anything's going on in there. So let's go back to 2011. Or in this case, you can go back to 2009, okay? Matt Umanoff Guitars. That was a really cool place. I've been in there as well. Even in 2011, these places were kind of, or 2009. Maybe not in 2009. I don't know. But, they just had a slow decline. And it's not really because people aren't buying guitars. I mean, yes, I do think people are buying less guitars, but it's partly just the corporatization of everything, the internet. And by the way, when rents go up because of progress, places like these can't even afford to exist because their rents go up. And that's what just happened to my boss. And I'm not going to go into that, but that's what happens. And people say that money is good and it's only a good thing if rich people keep getting more rich because they're providing the jobs or whatever. All I know is what I'm seeing, and I don't know who the fuck this person is. That's not a normal thing for somebody to be sitting out there like he's the bouncer or something. I don't know. Let me see what happens if you go to... That's a clearer picture. It looks like by 2011, maybe they were already... Maybe it was just a different time. Maybe it was like the weekend or something and they weren't open. 2012... So it stuck around until 2019. So by 2021, you have Pure Bar. You can see a mannequin in the window. So some sort of fashion boutique. And what I would say to that is like, do we need this place? Like, is this enriching the city? I don't think so. So I'm going to pause it for a second because I have to get the address. I don't want to be doing this while I'm doing the video. So anyway, yeah, now it's nothing. And I saw this place the other day not the other day, but like a few months ago when I was in the city with a friend. I say I have no friends, but yet I'm just calling him my friend. I mean, he kind of is. But, and there was just a long fucking line going into, John's Pizzeria. I wasn't even thinking that. That's just a coincidence, by the way, that I was talking about it on that other video. Nothing wrong with that place. Like, it's fine. But to me, it's overrated. I don't really... I'm the type of person that I just don't give a shit about trends. And I know that I'm sounding like, I'm, superior. I suffer from depression, and you know, I I I think in a way it leads me to only sort of consuming what I like and what resonates with me. And so like I gave an example like a while ago, but like I watched the Last of Us, and I hated that show, and people are talking about how great it was or whatever. And my point is, like, whether it's something that's lauded as good or bad, like I either like it or I don't. And by the time that show ended, I wanted Joel and Ellie both to like have some zombie, fire a machine gun at both of them. That would have kind of made it worth it. But yet it's supposed to be like serious TV, like must-see TV. Well, like, not necessarily. But I said the same thing about Breaking Bad. Now, I'm not saying anything about the quality of Breaking Bad as a show, but it was too heavy and serious for me. So I don't really watch a show like that. I'll watch something like, Walter Lee Hampton on YouTube and doing his rant about how much he hates Republicans or something. He's not really funny anymore, because all he talks about is how he hates white people and how he hates Republicans and how he hates black people. And it's sort of like he's just almost like kind of like an angry old man, at this point. And he's not even that old, but I'm just saying, like, he used to be funny and he's not really anymore. Okay, so now I'm going to go to, again, speed this up if it's too slow. I'm sort of trying to go as fast as I can. Not literally like, I'm not rushing through this, but I'm just saying, like, I can only sort of do it I'm trying to go as fast as I can, but have it be something along the lines of like commentary. So right now I'm going to do an example of the opposite of what I was just talking about. 210 Thompson Street. I don't think anyone's going to know what I'm talking about who's listening to this video, but maybe. This place has been here for a very long time, and I'm happy to see it. And the reason is, first of all, I don't know how long they can survive because of what I just said, because of rents, But this is current day. This is April 2026, it says there. So Generation Records has been there for generations. I don't know exactly how long, but I think since the 80s, I want to say. I really don't know. But I've been in there, and it's a really cool place. And when I saw that it was still there, obviously not in real life, but well, I could have seen that because that time that I was hanging out with that guy. But on here, I saw that it was still surviving. And the reason is because it's not a musical instrument store. You get hipsters, like these people probably, young people who have money. I'm not even trying to be insulting. These people just look like normal people, whatever. Orange shirt, That's kind of an interesting color. That kind of works on him, though. But anyway, people like this, whatever, and they buy records because they want to be cool, And by the way, like, I'm not against that. I don't have money to do anything. Not really. So, someone was just telling me that he's going to fly in and he's going to visit me. So, but if he does that, which I think we're gonna do that, someone that I've known for a long time, he's gonna have to pay for stuff, and it's embarrassing, but he knows this, so it's just what it is. So people want to buy records. I don't have a problem with buying records, and by the way, I have to say, even after all these years, I'm kind of still in the camp of records sound better than CDs. But to be honest, I think it's really because if you listen to like a high definition stereo system and it's like a high quality thing, probably CDs actually do sound better. But music over the years has been degraded with MP3s and streaming. They'll say it isn't, but that's the way it sounds to my ears. Like when I listen to Spotify, I can't really explain what it is about it. And if you get an audiophile type of person, especially a Reddit type of person, they're going to say, you're imagining that. The quality is the same as a high quality MP3. It doesn't sound like that to me. There's something about Spotify that sounds brittle to me. So anyway, yeah, not everything's dead. Generation Records is still with us because they sell stuff that young people with disposable income, like a lot of the people that live in New York City, are going to buy, like records, vinyl, and even though it is a very hipster thing, I'm not against it at all. Why shouldn't people be selling vinyl? Again, like I think if you have a good vinyl player, that's going to be a really good music listening experience, whatever. I don't know what this place is. So now I'm going to type in one more place and then maybe call it a day on this video. Yeah, I've bored everyone long enough. I normally type a little bit faster than that, but I'm kind of in a weird compromised position here. So this is a real restaurant, and can people recognize maybe what this is? The people listening probably know what this is, but I've been here because my first girlfriend went to, is it here? I don't want to fuck around while I'm doing this video, but the school Barnard which is an all-girls school, is very close by here. See, I already fucked myself up by doing that. Okay, so, in a certain show that all of you will know, this was often the view that you would see before you saw them all inside the restaurant, even though in real life they weren't in there at all. But they used that facade, as in Seinfeld, to indicate when they were at Monk's Diner. And this is also the subject of the song Tom's Restaurant by Suzanne Vega, who I really, really like as a person. I like her as a musician too, but I just think she's a cool person. So yeah, like I said, me and my girlfriend at the time, we went in here and we were excited. We were like, oh, this place is famous. Like, it's going to be really good. Like, it's going to be a good diner. And it was really crowded. And I don't even think it was because it's Tom's Restaurant. I literally think it was just a lot of like local types of people that's their place to go, And so we went in there and it was fine. It was a little bit too crowded for me, but I think my girlfriend knew that I wanted to go there and she wanted to too. So, but the point is, like, the food was not good, because I've been to many diners and it was just like a regular Greasy Spoon type of place, and just kind of like nothing to write home about. But I guess it's famous, I don't know, I just feel it's so dystopian that we live in this like panopticon. Here's this like overweight bald guy, and like it is good that his view is obscured, his face, but like he could be picking his nose or something. Like, we're all being monitored and like we're having our picture taken. I don't know, it's just a drag to me. He's just trying to eat his food, and he's old and he didn't realize that there was the Google Street View van was outside, and he doesn't know what the fuck he's doing. Meanwhile, he's probably taking a picture of it. I don't know what's in his hand, but it's not crowded right there, hardly anyone in there. It was very crowded when we went in there in 1999. Like I said, time has kind of frozen for me. When I had to move here, it was very sad for me, and I've never really, I don't. At the time, I was like, I wasn't so damaged about it. Like, I thought, okay, well, we're here, but we'll get back to the city. It's okay, we'll figure out something to do. And then days turn into, what's that song by American All American Rejects? Is that what they're called? The All American Rejects? The days, they turn into years, and that's what happened. And the something drowns in tears, and that part kind of happened too. Well, I didn't know that Warby Parker had an actual, physical location. I could do this like for a long time. Like I can just check it out, But yeah, Barnard is somewhere very near here, as is Columbia. These were some of the happiest days, really, of my life, when I would used to hang out with my girlfriend here, and really, I wasn't really allowed to be there. But somehow the rule just didn't. Somehow they realized, like, okay, this rule, it's going to get broken. Not everyone who attends this place is a dyke. And it was, I don't even know to what degree that's actually true about Barnard. Because I saw one, it's funny about transgenders, because there is a certain type of person who's so gay that, especially with a certain type of woman, that the person almost scans as a guy. And one of the people in her dorm room was basically like that. But back then you didn't talk about transgender. Like, I'm sure the term existed, like in the gay community or whatever, but you see, now I'm interested in it. I'm just going to look it up because I'm just curious. I'm not really sure where I am. But anyway, so yeah, she was like a super dyke, and it's funny, no one really cared. I mean, I'm not saying that she didn't have to go through her own trials and tribulations, but it was sort of like a zero to me. And, I'm going to pause this for a second. Okay, so I don't know this for sure, and I'm not gonna, I'm talking slow enough as it is, but again, just speed it up, whatever. But so I'm not gonna take the time, because I don't want to, I can't stop and just figure out everything about Barnard and where the dorms are, but I do think that this is where she stayed. And I have very fond memories of visiting her here. Not very many times, but like 2 or 3 times. And I think this is where it was, but I'm not positive, but I think this is the building where it was. And, I just really love New York, and I love buildings like this that look historical, and, it just makes you feel like the world is alive. And I don't feel that way where I am. To me, this is beautiful. I don't know how other people feel about it. I know my sister is the same way, even though she moved to Brooklyn. And when she did that, I was slightly heartbroken. And I never told her that, because why would I tell her that? And there's a reason I haven't told her about this YouTube channel. But they had the coolest fucking apartment. It wasn't a big apartment, but they had such a cool apartment down in the village, and I visited them occasionally, and I slept over or whatever, and but then it was really her husband that, and that's fine, he wanted to, he grew up in Brooklyn, and that's what he was, his home to him, and he wanted to have a house, or however you want to call it, or a brownstone. So it made sense from a financial perspective, but it was still sad for me. And yeah, so this is where, pretty sure, and she ended up a lot better off than I did, because she graduated. I'm just sort of checking out, like, I don't know. I think people don't listen to the whole video anyway, but I'm just sort of like looking at random shit now. This is really the area that I particularly like, I don't know what church this is. I don't know. When I see gay stuff like a gay flag, I see... Okay, like, is that even a gay flag, by the way? But like, when you see a gay flag on like a branding, and it's gay month and we're gonna show our support for gay people, to me, I didn't used to always feel this way, but the way I feel now is like I'm watching the world in decline. And it's not because of the gay thing, it's because things are getting worse. The wealth disparity is fucking people. But you're a good little corporation. You're whatever you are, Google, Starbucks, or whatever it is, because you're talking about how great gay people are in Pride Month. To me, it's a symptom of something that they don't want you to think about, which is basically like, globalization, and they're using foreign labor, and people are getting screwed, but it's supposed to be okay because they support gay people. That's my reaction, And I think if you're young and idealistic, you don't really understand that that's what's going on, and you think, oh great, it's like gay people are getting more rights or whatever. That's not how I view it, Oh, isn't that cute? She's taking a piss. Oh, look, you have a cute little bum right there. Homeless person. Sorry, unhoused. Yeah, I don't really know what else to say, and this is probably boring now. So it's 38 minutes, which I always go longer than I think I've gone. I'm just going to look at this for a second, and for like a couple more minutes. I know some people don't like the city, and I understand it, but I think you have to sort of admire how the aesthetics, These are old buildings. I mean, I don't know how old, but it doesn't look like a project, And although that's the trend. But so like I said, and I corrected the last video, but like, this is not Central Park. I kind of knew that intuitively, but I was forgetting exactly what I was thinking, So like, this is Riverside Park, or whatever you call it. How could it be Central Park? Because Central Park is what separates the west side from the east side. If you're on the very west of the west side, obviously, it's not Central Park. But this is like for the rich, So, and it didn't really, it just didn't. The city didn't used to be for rich people. Because I know somebody would hear me say that and be like, it's always been that way, or whatever. Okay, if you want to live in your delusion, because it's just not true. And I do think it will come back. But will it come back before we've had some sort of horrible world war and a bunch of people have died? I don't know. No one's addressing what's going on, which is that the wealth keeps flowing to the people that already have it. It doesn't matter what your ideology is. That's what's happening. And people that just have a regular job like me are struggling, and that didn't used to be the case. So, and I could very well, and I'm not bragging at all, I'm just saying I'm very capable of having some sort of job where I'd be making a whole bunch of money, not be rich or whatever, but because of various, it's partly my fault. So I don't really want to just go on this thing of like blaming people, but like, you get corporations, they want to hire women, and they want to hire foreigners, they want to look good for the DEI points, and they want submissive people working in their corporations. So you just get, this trend is happening, you know. So it's just going to be that much harder for someone like me to get into, I don't know, some kind of like a computer job or something. But we call it progress. And it doesn't seem to me, I'm glad that women are working, but I don't think that they're happier. But if you listen to someone like, who's that awful woman? What's her face? Chelsea Handler. She would probably say, no, women are happier than ever. You're just an angry white incel. Okay, I don't know. I mean, I can only say how I feel, so maybe I'm too subjective and like that. You know, Chelsea Handler's right. I don't know. I don't think she's very happy. Anyway, yeah, that's enough for this video. But thank you for watching. If you watched this far, if you watched this far, leave a purple dildo icon in the comments. Have a wonderful night, day, whatever it is where you are.